All right. Good morning. Unfortunately, my video is not working. This is Dick Schaefer, the RESC chair, and welcome you to our quarterly meeting. And Lizette, do you have the
I have the
photo up?
Oh, can you? Okay. I think there might be a way for you to change that if you want to. But I can see everyone if you need something.
Okay. I'm not seeing that on my phone here, so I'll have to see. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and start with introductions on your screen. Start with the top left and go around.
Okay, great. So I guess we can just start with a quick introduction. My name is Lizette Gonzalez. I'm here with a number of staff members from SRPEDD. I want to welcome everyone who's here attending. I see some new faces that are new to the RESC group. Thank you for coming. And some kind of regular. So again, thank you for your participation.
Well, I'll go next. I think everyone has a different screen view, so I'll just jump in. Hi, Dick. Hi, neighbor. My name is Chris Silva. I'm the president of the Taunton Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm happy to be attending my first quarterly meeting.
Welcome, Chris.
Lizette, would you be willing to guide the meeting with a roll call on everybody?
Sure.
And since I interrupted you, I'll introduce myself. My name is Grant King. I'm the Director of Comprehensive Planning and Housing at SRPEDD.
John, if you want to go next, I think we all know you.
Don Sullivan, Director of Economic Development.
Great. Robert Resendiz?
Good morning, everyone. Robert Resendiz. I'm Dean for Bristol Community College's Taunton location.
Thank you. Alan?
Alan Slavin, Chair of the SRPEDD Commission and Selectman of the Town of Wareham.
Thank you. Mary Ellen?
Here we go.
Mary Ellen DeFrias. I'm the Vice President for Community Investment for Mass Development.
Thank you. Janice?
I'm Janice Ackerstrom, Director of Economic and Community Development for the Town of Middleborough.
Thanks. Paul? Ferland?
Paul Foley.
Yep, Paul Ferland, Administrator, Community Utilities, City of Fall River.
Thank you. Paul Foley, I think you can be next.
Paul Foley, Fairhaven Department of Planning and Economic Development.
Thank you. Bill Roth?
Bill Roth, Executive Director, OECD, City of Taunton. How you doing, Paul? Long time no see.
Good.
Thank you. Richard Brown?
Richard Brown, Town Administrator, Somerset.
Thank you. Tracy Costa?
Tracy Costa, Ransom Consulting.
Leanne?
Hi, Leanne Bradley, Town Planner, Middleborough.
Thank you. And Lloyd, I think you're the one on the phone number there. Okay. *6 if you need to unmute yourself, by the way.
Oops, sorry about that. Lloyd Mendes, Circuit Commissioner from Town of Somerset.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. I think that's everyone.
Great. All right. Now I've lost the agenda. Hold on. I'll pull it back up. It was a pain to do it by phone. Okay, so first up is the Fall River Mather Brooks Sewer Upgrades Projects. Paul?
Hi, how's it going, everybody? Just wanted to come and talk a little bit about EDA grant that we've recently received with the assistance of SRPEDD. This grant's to $1.32 million, replaced about roughly 28,000 linear feet of sewer main that goes all the way from Riggenback Road and within our industrial park, follows Mother's Brook along the Freetown Fall River line down to the railroad tracks, and then heads south down towards our wastewater treatment plant on the railroad tracks. This line was installed originally in the 60s, some of it even before that. It's a mixture of materials, AC pipe, clay pipe, RCP. And it's kind of undersized. It's identified as being undersized for the full build out of our whole entire industrial park, bio park, and the commerce park, which takes flows from all those areas and conveys it down to our wastewater treatment plant. So what we did originally, we applied to EDA for a larger project to do the construction so permitting, design, permitting, and construction of the whole entire project. EDA came back to us and said, well, we think it's going to be too tight of a timeline to get all that done. We'll work with you to award for design and permitting. After that, we can reapply for the construction portion of the project. It is going to be a substantial project and it's going to take a fair amount of time. We were confident that we could meet on a very tight schedule. We could meet construction in there as well, but this gives us additional time to be able to move forward with the project and make sure we have all of our ducks in a row with permitting and everything like that. So that's kind of a brief overview. City's match on this project is $264,000 paid for by CSO authorization that we have. How this helps with our CSOs is, this area within the age of the pipes and manholes through this area, there's definitely inflow and infiltration, especially where it follows and kind of parallels the Mother's Brook stream. It's typically below groundwater table in those areas. To reduce that, will reduce any of our CSOs that are affected downstream from there. How it'll help any of the businesses, it'll help the full build out of all of our parks within the city of Fall River in the small area of Freetown that we also take sewer from. That's kind of a broad overview of the project. Again, we're hoping to get this out to RFQ sometime in the near future to be able to move forward with working with the consultant.
Yeah, can I just add to that? Add on to what Paul said, is that SRPEDD will be administering the project on behalf of the city of Fall River, working with Paul and Paul's crew. And like Paul said, as this process moves forward, we'll be looking to help the city put an additional application together for the construction, and hopefully we can do that sooner rather than later. But the D&E and the permitting is going to take a little time, but we'll watch that and see how the design process goes, and if we can get a private investment up there that we can wrap around the construction fund, and we'll be ready to assist the city in that effort as well. So it's a good project, a lot of potential in that area. As Paul said, there's 3 industrial parks or large regional employment centers that are located up in that area in Fall River. And there's a significant amount of additional jobs that can be, captured with new expansion and new development opportunities that would exist up there, and that would support the upgrades to the existing source. So it's a great project, and we're looking forward to moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. And, it also takes, just to touch on what Don said, it also takes areas from industrial areas in Freetown too. This sewer does too. So ISP that's in Freetown, as well as the Stop and Shop warehouse goes into this sewer line down next to the Freetown line. I wanted to throw a big thank you out to Don. You know, he was instrumental in assisting us through this process and helping us get through a great grant writer within the city of Fall River. James DiBiasio was also excellent to assist the sewer division in being able to get this grant.
Any questions for Paul or Don?
This is Lloyd Mendes from Somerset. I have a question.
Sure.
What is this, the ARPA NOFO that just came out? Which specific EDA funding is this funded through?
No, this is through the regular Public Works Economic Adjustment Assistance, not the Build Back Better. This was, you know, this was done. Paul, when did we do this back last? I don't know, in the spring or something. We put this together?
Yeah, we put this together. Yeah, it was last spring. It was some time ago, and was with EDA.
Yeah, it's a different, Lloyd. It's a different program. I think your community, we utilize the same program for Somerset, but there's a basket under this particular program that's specific to assistance to coal communities, which you guys were recipients of in the past. But this is not Build Back Better. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but Don, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this award also part of some CARES funding that was?
It was CARES Act related, but it's not Build Back. It's not under the Build Back Better program.
Yeah, correct. Exactly.
Yep.
And Don and Paul, do I understand that being able to tie it to the jobs at the industrial park was the main selling point? That if you had simply submitted for funding to renew the sewer main, but without creating new jobs, it might not have sailed through?
Yeah, that's correct. It has to be jobs related. So as Paul said, it was a much larger project initially. EDA came back and said, no, it's a good project, but let's do phase 1 D&E. So we got funded for phase 1 design, engineering, and permitting. So but it is all related to job creation. It's gotta be.
Yep, without a doubt. And the industrial park does have some recent increases that are jobs that they've been seeing.
Any other questions?
Okay, let's move to the next item, please.
All right, thank you.
So this is a list of projects under our regular EDA planning grant. So first up is Somerset. Lloyd, you'd be interested in this. This is your community. Somerset water and sewer upgrades. That's really the I&I project, $1.3 million. That's underway. The second one up is Mattapoisett Industrial Park, 1.4 million. We've had a little delay with that. We hope to get the bid docs and bid specs out for bidding late in the fall of 2021 and go into construction in the spring of 2022. The town was awarded a small Mass Trails grant to do a portion of this project. There's a bike path that goes along the Mattapoisett Industrial Park roadway, Industrial Drive, and that has been done, and we're going to follow that up with the reconstruction of the road under the EDA portion of the project, 1.4 million. And in New Bedford with the Port Authority, we're working with the New Bedford Port Authority and the city on another EDA project, total 12 million. 16 million funded EDA, 4 million that was a match from the Port Authority and the city. Project is the North Terminal Phase 2 expansion, pier and fendering project, and we hope to have initial construction on the pier and fendering portion of that project starting up in the late fall of 2021. So that's an ongoing project, and SRPED is involved in administering all three of these projects. And any questions with any of that?
Dawn, is the New Bedford project separate from, does that include the dredging, or is the dredging separate?
That's a separate project.
Okay.
They've got multiple projects going on with multiple funding. The EDA piece is just the North Terminal 2, and then the pier and fendering portion of, of improving those piers. I think initially there was 5. We're looking at three pier and fendering upgrades, along with the expansion of the terminal, and it's under phase 2. So the dredging is a different component, but integrated with what we're doing. And any questions on those? Okay, so we're just gonna roll right into, so there's 2 pieces. We have the EDA planning grant, and we have the CARES Act recovery program that SRPED'S conducting. It's a 2-year effort. We've got some projects under that. We talked about Mother's Brook, $1.3 million. That was, that's under the CARES Act. Funding came through EDA's Public Work Economic Adjustment / CARES Act funding program. So we're in phase 1 of that. SRPED is waiting on an announcement of an award under a regional resiliency plan. SRPED was awarded a state grant through the Efficiency and Regionalization Program for roughly $78,000 and change. There's some additional funds from DLTA. We're matching with that, and we came in and put together an EDA application for $141,500, matching a total project cost of $282,450. It's up on the screen. And again, we're waiting for an announcement on that, and we hope to move forward with this regional resiliency plan starting sometime in early October. And then we're currently working through the American Rescue Plan, Build Back Better application process. We're looking at a $500,000 grant proposal for the marine science technology and offshore wind corridor project. There was a initial project that was started under UMass. For a lot of reasons, was never completed. We're coming back to that project, and we're working with WUI as the lead on the Cape, Mass Maritime, and Bristol Community College, and the 2 RPAs, Cape Cod and SRPED, on a regional plan to look at offshore wind and marine science and technology. Hopefully we'll have that application in mid-October, October 19th, the deadline. It's a $500,000 technical assistance application that has 2 components. One's a TA for planning, and the other aspect of it is for construction projects that are also included as part of the application. So we're working with, the lead would be WUI, and the partners, Bristol Community College, Mass Maritime, and Cape Cod Commission. And then we have 3 additional projects we're looking at under the CARES Act, and some of these would fall under Build Back Better. Others would fall under the typical EDA Public Works Economic Adjustment Assistance. We're looking at a plan feasibility study in Swansea, a Somerset construction application proposed. They have another construction project there that we're eyeing at the moment. We're looking at an opportunity in Plainville, as well as a follow-up application for Fall River, which we talked about, the construction of the Mother's Brook sewer upgrade. I also want to mention that there was an application that was filed on behalf of Fairhaven to look at the Alden Road. That application has to be refiled after the first of the year. There was some funding match funding that was compromised because it was late in the year that we were submitting an application. So we have to hold off on that application to January, where we refile it for a feasibility study for Alden Road in Fairhaven, which SRPEDD, along with Paul Foley in Fairhaven, we worked extensively over a long period of time with trying to develop this project, and we're going to be resubmitting that early in January of 2022. So, any questions on any of that? I know there's a lot there.
Okay, no further questions. Let's move to the next item, please.
Excuse me, Jeff, this is Lloyd. It took me a second to get unmuted.
Okay, go ahead.
Don, any possibility of using the Build Back Better regional approach to address a lot of different towns in the area cooperating on offshore wind support here on the mainland? Over.
Well, the application is, it includes the SRPEDD region as well as the Cape. So as that application is developed, it's going to serve the both regions.
So in other words, as it's written, we can also address offshore wind support?
Yeah, I mean, I know where you're going. I know that you have the Brayton Point facility and the potential for offshore wind. So there's other avenues for EDA money. This particular one that we're talking about with the Marine Science and Tech is just a TA project at this point, where there'll be other opportunities to come in and get additional EDA funding for actually construction. I know there's nothing identified out there yet on Brighton Point, where we have Ambaric and other developments there, but nothing else has occurred as of yet that we're aware of. And we're looking at a Build Back Better project for Somerset currently, and seeing how that develops, and if there's something real there, we'll go back in and try to put another application together on behalf of Somerset.
Thank you.
Great. All right. Do we have the agenda back up, or you have something you're moving to? Don, what's next?
Yeah, we went through these earlier. So, Mother's Brook and the SRPEDD resiliency plan. So the plan focuses on 4 different areas: environmental systems, socioeconomic and governmental preparedness, economic resilience, and vulnerabilities and assessment infrastructure. So it'll be a pretty extensive assessment and review. There'll be a list of priority projects in the region that we can help communities, and this probably gets to Lloyd's point, where we can help communities go after specific funding for projects that will fit into this regional resiliency plan. Yeah, that's going to be an all hands on deck project. Looks like about a 2-year effort, and part of this will be a steering committee that will be developed, and hopefully we'll get representation from all the different entities and people that need to be at the table, at least initially, to put this together. Yeah.
Okay, so that will be something we'll keep on top of at future meetings of the RESC group. Okay.
John, this is Lloyd again. I hope that we'll define regional for the Build Back Better as not just the coastal communities, but also the inland industrial parks, because this could really revitalize the whole South Coast, not just the coast, the whole Southeast. Over.
Yeah, it's all under the Build Back Better. There's various opportunities for under all that. So yeah, we're very much aware of that. Yep.
So if there aren't any further questions, I can dive into some of the specific programs. I know everyone's very aware of the, $3 billion in funding that the federal government has put out, and EDA has created these 6 programs to really kind of organize and distribute the funding. We've talked about Build Back Better quite a bit. And as Dawn described, the marine science, technology, and offshore wind project that we're looking at, as you can tell, that one really emphasizes regional economies, collaboration, and how we can catalyze new growth and maybe revitalize existing industries. And as he mentioned, that's planning, infrastructure, entrepreneurship, among other things. Another challenge that EDA has proposed and put out there is the Good Jobs Challenge. And that one is kind of an effort to connect individuals with those high earning, more resilient employment opportunities. So by targeting employers who need employees and who need to train workers with in-demand skills that will create, those high quality jobs, we're talking about like good pay, benefits, and continued growth in the future and development. So that's a little bit about that program. Economic Adjustment Assistance, that one tackles creation and development through grants targeted for infrastructure, technical assistance, and revolving loan programs. It's, again, collaboratively focused and regionally oriented. This one really seeks to build stronger links between urban centers and their rural areas surrounding them. Indigenous communities, that's another one that deals with building up economies and making them more resilient. I know something that some communities might be interested relates to travel, tourism, and recreation. For those that rely on those sectors or those areas, this fund divides projects by state tourism grants, so some that will go directly to the state, and other competitive grants that communities and regions can apply to directly. And then lastly, we have the statewide planning, research, and networks. Again, focusing on regional economies and that collaboration. That's a kind of consistent theme throughout the American Rescue Plan. It really looks at directly funding statewide planning grants as well as research and networks. And one that Dawn mentioned that doesn't necessarily apply to everyone here, but is particularly important to Somerset is that Coal Communities commitment that really seeks to, revitalize economies in those specific areas. So just a run through of some of those programs. I know there's a lot of interest in them and how to get involved. So if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out to us directly. I imagine that'll be a deeper conversation if there's a serious project at hand. But if there's any other questions, I'm happy to take them now if you'd like.
This is Lloyd again from Somerset.
Hi, Lloyd.
Hey, I just want to, my reading of the ARPA NOFO shows me that it's not just Somerset that is coal impacted. They say repeatedly that other towns that can show that their economy was impacted by the loss of the coal plant. For maybe maybe your town had a number of jobs, people working at the old coal plant, or I don't know, or maybe you were suppliers. But many other towns could also submit grants based on coal community justification.
For sure. I think it's just a matter of being able to show those numbers and make that argument. Any other questions?
Questions for Lizeth or Don? Great. Hope to get some of this American Rescue Plan money working in our region.
I have a statement, if I could. This is Janice. I did have an opportunity to listen to the MAPC presentation on the American Rescue Plan Act. And what was really stressed was, unlike our individual allocations that every town has received, this is a really regionally focused plan. I don't know if it's for all 6 of the programs, but for the majority of them. So it's really about the region. I know I was hoping for more of an individual community application opportunity, but it's all about the region for these. I just wanted to press that because that's what was pressed in the earlier presentation. Do you confirm that, SRPED?
So under the Build Back program,
Under the rescue plan, ARPA.
there's 6 different programs. So which one
Right.
are we? Right, the state has one that's a regional, statewide regional approach. Build Back Better, right now, we are looking at, that Build Back Better project between the Cape and SRPED with the coalition partners being WUI, Mass Maritime, and BCC, which is a regional project.
And I would agree with that, Janice. That's a pretty accurate statement and take on overall ARPA. They really focus on collaborating across communities. I think that idea of being able to bridge economies and communities is a great way to kind of take a look at these programs. If you can collaborate with a neighboring community or across a number of different regions, like we're doing between the Cape Cod Commission, that just makes it that much more competitive when it comes time to apply. There are some individual community opportunities. I think I highlighted them or tried to when I was talking, but I know that was a lot. So there are a few individual community opportunities in there, but largely, like you were saying, they do tend to be regional in focus and very collaborative.
And to build on what Janice said, at Mass Development, we've taken a deep dive into looking at these. And what we're hearing is because there's going to be so few of these per state, that the more communities within the state that are participating, the stronger your application is going to be, because it's highly possible Massachusetts gets 1 or 2 of these. Mm-hmm. So those projects that truly connect statewide even, which I would maybe look at the North Shore for offshore wind as well, because you don't want them putting in a competing application if it's one industry that we're looking at. So that's just some of the things that we're looking at, is because we're probably putting in one statewide application as well.
What's your statewide application for?
They've got 3 right now that they're looking at. One of them is offshore wind. One of them is, I forget what the
MAPA projects?
One is was driven by Western Mass. One was driven by Brockton. And I forget what the third one was that they're looking at. But, I would strongly suggest that these, that you look as far as you can on these in case it is only 1 to 2 per state.
Right, there's different needs across the state per each RPA. So, I mean, I don't know what the other RPAs are doing. I do have an idea of what some of them are doing, but as long as we don't compete with one another, we should be fine. I mean, I don't know if you're talking about the statewide planning grant or the Build Back Better. I mean,
we're looking at Build Back Better.
Yeah, so I mean, as long as though we don't compete with one another on these projects, and as I said, there are different needs across the state in terms of different regions. What's happening out in the Berkshires is different from what's happening out in, MAPC or Southeastern Mass or, Pioneer Valley, whatever. So, I mean.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that, offshore wind is also being discussed on the North Shore. So it may be something that we want to combine with them on.
We're aware of that, and as we move forward on our Build Back Better grant, we get funding for it. We'll, as part of that alliance, you remember that alliance, so that we can reach out to those entities as the alliance is put together. So, yep.
John, let me jump in and strongly support Janice and Deanne's point that we're used to looking at EDA funds as almost pork barrel for our individual towns. This new approach is really exciting, and it could change the economy and the lives of our working people throughout the Southeast. So I hope that you will strongly embrace this and, not just kind of check the box, but try to work on a bigger scale, a bigger regional scale, including like the North Shore. If they share interest with us, think regionally. I think it's exciting and not just another little detailed imposition. Over.
Yep, we're aware of it, and we will be doing that. No, that's all I can say. We're aware of the benefits and the regional benefits and all the opportunities that would come from an award on the application, and we're ready to deliver that. So.
Okay, any more questions on this item? Okay, next up.
I know we've kind of been chatting back and forth, which is great. I love it. But if there are any other updates or information any communities want to share, I just want to open up for a few minutes for that before we close.
Yeah, anyone has a project they're working on that you'd like to have the group know about? Bill, I think I saw that you have some concentrations for both the Whittington and is it the Ware area for industrial, or what did I see on the website the other day? Bill Roth.
On our city website?
Yeah. Where did I read that?
Wouldn't been on the website. I know that, one of our our economic development approaches, we're looking heavily at Whittington and somewhat in the Ware. Our Whittington, we're looking, there's Whittington Mills, Reed and Barton, and the Leonard School. So those are, 3 areas that have significant development potential, plus the main corridor through Bay Street is, in need of help. That's potentially an application for TDI, which just came out. And we're also have applied for a separate grant to look at urban renewal up in Whittington. And so, we're looking at putting a significant amount of planning and economic development strategy work to help redevelop that village. And we're in the finishing touches of our local rapid recovery for the downtown. Actually, the hearing is tonight, the final meeting.
Great. Yeah, so good things happening in Taunton. What other communities? Anybody else have something to report?
Well, I can talk more along Bill Roth's focus is the downtown. We're just finished our research with our branding agency from out of state, Chandler Thinks, and we're going to be determining the identity of downtown Middleborough, how we want to approach that, and also create a place branding initiative so that we can start to develop the downtown and more of its own identity and drawing people into the downtown. We're also moving forward with our own LRRP initiatives. We have 5 projects in the works, which depending on how many of them go through, we'll discuss that on our next quarterly report. And then we're still working on our 40R, which is not an economic development project per se, but we're bringing that to town meeting in October to get a vote to see if we can do our 40R overlay zone in the downtown. And that actually brings me to a question that I have, which I will reach out to Don Sullivan on, about redirecting the focus of our EDA support for infrastructure build out from South Point Industrial Park to another area of town that might need it. So Don, I'll reach out to you on that at some point. If you're still there, I don't see your face anymore, but
Yeah, yep.
okay. But those are our most recent updates as far as economic development and or housing with commercial development attached.
Great. Anybody else?
Yeah, in Fairhaven, we are still proceeding with our redevelopment plans in the Route 6 240 Alden and Bridge area, which that industrial project with the EDA was part of. We're also looking at a 40R in the area south of Bridge Street. We did get a site readiness grant through the Mass Development last year, and we're very happy with our consultants at Fuss and O'Neill. They're going to be coming for some site visits on Friday to look at several properties. We have up to 10 phase 1 environmental assessments and a deeper dive on 3 or 4 properties. And already looking to get some good results out of there. We're trying to get our public safeties looking for a new area, and we're trying to focus them on a property that we already own. So we're going to be taking a deeper dive, looking at the possibilities to locate them along with the transfer facility to the same property that's already owned by the town, rather than looking at other properties that I just soon stayed in the tax rolls. And so concentrating them. So far that site readiness grant is already showing some results.
Great. Anybody else? Bob, would you like to speak a little bit to the new BCC in Taunton?
Sure. We are very happy that we are have another new location here in the Taunton area. As some of you may know, that we were displaced from our previous location, and we're happy that we have found a new home at the former Coyle and Cassidy High School. We are up and running for our first semester here with about 230 students in the credit programs and another a little over 100 in the ESOL non-credit classes. So things are looking good here, and we're really happy that we're back in the Taunton area. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Just as follow on that, since you mentioned where they were displaced earlier this or last year, they have talked to the broker for what is now being called the Silver City Business Park at the junction of 140 and 24, the former Silver City Galleria. The buildings have all been demolished, and the city has permitted 2 large 500,000 square foot distribution buildings for the site. And in talking to the broker, there's a very strong interest in either a full purchase of or leasing of the site, or lease of half the site at this point. They're working through some logistics on that. So I would expect to see in the next year or so, we'll see some new development at that location, which is good because there's not many large land sites available in southeastern Mass at this time. So that's a positive there. In Taunton's 2 industrial parks were virtually sold out. Vacancy rate in Miles Standish is close to 5%. And we have 20 acres with 3 lots left in the business park at Miles Standish off Bay Street. So I understand that the new industrial park at 123 in Norton is having some good interest. Don, how many acres is that Condine Park?
What's that, Condine Park?
Yeah, 123 at 140.
Oh, Condine is like 190.
Yeah. Okay. So they continue to have quite a bit of interest there. So there is a dearth of or lack of large acreage for large projects in southeastern Mass, at least in our greater Taunton area for sure.
Yeah, that's right. All throughout the district. You're right, Dick.
That's all right. Any other comments or any from the communities? Okay. Don, I saw that note about tourism in one of the project opportunities. So maybe at the next meeting, if we get Rob Kidder to come to speak about the Southeastern Massachusetts Convention and Visitors Bureau and see what is on their plate for the region. That would be great to have some input.
Yeah, there was an email sent out by the executive director, where she was looking for SRPEDD'S documents to align with what they were applying for. So I don't know exactly what it is they're applying for, but we did pass along our SRPEDD'S document so that anything that they're trying to do aligns with and is consistent with our goals and objectives identified in our SRPEDD'S.
Yeah, I know they still have a small matching program for advertising, so that the communities might want to get a little more information on how that works.
Yeah, yeah. It's a scramble for those monies, and again, as has been echoed, they're looking for regional approaches, partnerships, collaborations, and that's the best approach in trying to secure money, because it's going to be a free-for-all. So
for sure.
Yeah, some of these grants, I don't know, they might have already, the timelines might have had already been reached relative to submittal of the actual proposal. So yeah.
Okay, anything else to come before us today? Not, the next meeting will be in late fall, early winter. Haven't set the time or date yet, but be very interested to see the interest we have from this group continuing into 2022. So thanks for all of you that joined us today, and we'll see you next time. And thanks to Lisette and Dawn for setting up the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.